Raider Nation, what is going on? It is Chiefs week. And Raider Nation, I tell you what, us and Chiefs Kingdom right now are butting heads. I tell you, we took away that win in week 5. They want to claim it's our Super Bowl win, whatever they want to say. They're obviously bugged by it. So the best way that we can do this and the best way that we can settle this conversation is to go 2v2. I guess you could say, I'd say one-on-one, but 2v2, Raider Nation versus Chiefs Kingdom. And talk about this game. Talk about this matchup. Talk about all the drama this week. Talk about the previous game, obviously, and talk about 2020. Because the Raiders right now in 2020 are playing pretty dang good football. I tell you, they're playing pretty dang good football. So we're going to see what this turns into. But for me, I'm pretty fired up for this matchup. And I'm really fired up because I'm going to be in Las Vegas this weekend. So if you guys are in Las Vegas or thinking about going to Las Vegas, get there. Because I'll be at Stage Door Casino hosting an entire watch party. You can click on my channel right now. You can go to my channel homepage, and you'll see a watch party live stream set up and scheduled. Go there, set your reminder. I'm going to be live the entire Raiders-Chiefs game. You can go there if you're a Chiefs fan. You can go there and heckle me. Raider Nation, be there, hang out. Enjoy the vibe of Raider Nation hanging out, watching the football game in Vegas. Kenny King's going to be there, of course. But Stage Door Casino is the spot. Get there, hang out. Raider Nation's unofficial, official spot. That's where we go. So, like I said, little collaboration. And in order to make this collaboration work, we decided to travel over to a trailer park in Kansas City. So don't mind my makeshift projector that I set up at their local trailer park, wherever these Chiefs fans are from. I don't know. I just went wherever they told me to go. You know how they are. They came out eating mayonnaise and all kinds of stuff. They told their cousins to go wait inside for them until they're done. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All jokes aside, was a real good conversation, all in all, and respect them for coming on and sitting down with some Raiders fans and chopping it up respectfully. It was pretty good. A little heated, but that's what Chiefs Week's all about. Raiders, Chiefs, heated rivalry, good stuff. Tune in and let's get into it. So, here we are, sitting down, 2 Raiders fans and 2 Chiefs fans in a very, very heated week. And I'll be honest. These fan bases, they don't get along very well at all. And recently, as in the last couple days, probably the least that they ever have, ever. This is, on Twitter, online, everything that's going on. But here we are. We're going to make it work. We're going to keep things civil on a non-personal level. And we're going to just talk about football in a hopefully a little bit offending manner. But we'll just keep it football offensive. What is going on? It's Always Sunny in, what is it? In
Chiefs Kingdom.
In Chiefs Kingdom.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Okay.
Here we are.
It wasn't always sunny in Chiefs Kingdom, though. Come on.
Well, but it is now, and it will be for as long as Patrick Mahomes is our quarterback, unless we have a repeat of, a couple weeks ago, whatever. That's really been, listen, we're being civil. We're giving you guys your props. That was a very aggravating, frustrating, extremely horrible
disappointing
experience for us. And so we're looking forward to this weekend because, it's a revenge game for us, and we're not used to those.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you guys want your payback because I've had way too much material to feed off of these last few weeks. I'm enjoying myself, honestly. It's been a great few weeks.
Enjoy it while you can.
But for you guys as Super Bowl champs, hey, we get a win. We get the pick. We take a lap around the stadium in the bus. You guys can't be that bad. You're defending Super Bowl champs. What's going on? I want to know. Chiefs Kingdom, in my opinion, to me, has been a little bit more whiny than they should because, hey, you guys are the team to take down. What is going on? What's the mentality over there for the fan base?
Do you mean that we're whining that you guys took the lap or that we lost or which part
kind of
specifically?
Both. Hand in hand.
The lap was pretty low as far as just like, it just wasn't really, you guys hadn't been there before, I feel like Chiefs and Raiders are the best AFC West rivalry. Better than Denver, better than obviously.
There's no Chargers week.
There's right. So because of that, emotions run high, undefeated team, you guys, this was the worst game that the Chiefs could have lost on the schedule until the playoffs. That was the one that hurts the most because everyone else, it doesn't really matter. Raiders week is really the only one that matters. And obviously you guys know, having won 2 out of the last 12, that it's definitely, it hurts when you lose those games a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, guys, look, with the bus thing, Taylor and I were talking about this before we hopped on. Why isn't Gruden owning the bus thing, right? Like he got asked about it and he blamed it on the bus driver. And then Max Crosby was saying they didn't even know they were taking a victory lap. Like, I wish that he brought the heat even more, right? Like he's kind of backed off it. Like if you're gonna take a victory lap, take a victory lap. All right, go earn it. But he's almost like he's a little scared of what he's about to unleash. I don't like it. It's not Gruden-y enough for me.
I think it's more that the relationship between him and Andy Reid. I just think you say what you will about Gruden. I kind of wish he came out and was like, yeah, we took a victory lap because we kicked their ass, and that's what we wanted to do. Like, that's what people expect from John Gruden. I think he's going down a little bit. I think it has to do with Andy Reid. But I feel like you guys are using that. It's like, you don't need motivation. Look, let's lay it on the table. You guys have kicked our ass the past couple of years. Like, you don't need that as motivation. And I feel like Andy Reid is using it as like a tactical thing to get the team riled up. Do you guys feel like you need that? I don't feel like you need that when you got 15 playing quarterback.
We don't need it, but I will tell you, if the players feel anything like the fans do after that last game, they are so pissed and so motivated already. I mean, listen, I've been talking shit on Derek Carr for years. And I'll tell you what was so frustrating about that game was that, he's this in our minds. And listen, we can argue about what the perception is versus the reality, but he's this dink and dunk quarterback. And then he came out and we lost that game in the worst, most frustrating way possible, right? This defense, 2 years ago, it was terrible. It cost us a trip to the Super Bowl. Last year, we got a lot of leaders on the defense, a lot of guys with a lot of pride. And they got their asses kicked by Derek Carr, a guy who had never won at Arrowhead before, dropping bombs all over the field.
Yeah.
And they're mad. I mean, they're mad, and they should be mad about that. I mean, they don't need any extra motivation, but I think Andy is kind of leaning into it a little bit because I think the guys are already feeling it, and he just wants to stoke the flames a little bit. And I'll tell you, when it comes to AFC West games, listen, when was that, Taylor? 4 or 5 years ago when we played the Broncos and we dropped the hungry pig on them?
2016.
That was a blowout in a game that didn't mean anything in the AFC West. We just embarrassed the Broncos because they're a division team and, they disrespected us a little bit. And so we're pulling out trick plays in the fourth quarter. That's the only time we've ever seen Andy Reid really do that. He's not a guy that goes out to embarrass people. And I don't think he's going to do that. John Gruden's his guy. They're buddies. But, I think they're mad as hell.
Yeah. And I think, there's a little bit to be said about what was being talked about even before the game. Because I know there's one thing, if you guys have, bulletin board material, it's going to be the bus ride. For us, it's like we're going and looking. You could click on the Chiefs account before the game started, and you're hearing Tyrann Mathieu talk about this heated rivalry. And it's cool that you guys get on. And yes, it is the best rivalry in the AFC West, one of the best rivalries probably in football, especially after this last game, everything going on. The entire NFL right now is feeding into this rivalry. But even before then, Tyrann Mathieu's getting on with the social media person, talking about how the rivalry is not the same anymore. This team is different. Basically saying that they've moved on past it. They've hinted at the idea that, okay, it's not that much of a rivalry. Like, we've got this in a bag. I jump on a podcast, sit down with two Kansas City folks, similar, I guess, kind of to yourselves, all Chiefs fans. And I sit down and have a good conversation with them. I hop off, and then they go and jump on and start bagging the Raiders. So I'm kind of thinking, hey, there's a little bit of blow to blow each way. One happened before the game. One happened after the victory. One team was a little bit more patient, and now I'm seeing it, and it's like, hey, he took a lap around in an empty city, pretty much. You know what I mean? If it was a packed out 100%, stadium,
I couldn't get away with a victory lap in Arrowhead if it was packed.
But it's one of those.
That bus would not have made it.
Exactly. Yeah, well, it literally wouldn't have been able to move around the stadium, I think is what he's getting at, because it is a mess to park at Arrowhead. It's
we have to go back to one thing. If Derek Carr is a dink and dunk quarterback, what was Alex Smith?
He's Derek Carr. And in fact, I was going to give, certainly. So this is like the 2017 Alex Smith is what Derek Carr's evolved into. And listen, I've talked a lot of smack on Derek Carr. I will not deny that this is the best season. This is the best version of Derek Carr that we've ever seen. He's playing very well. He's topped out at about, he's maybe the 6th or 7th best quarterback in the NFL this year. That's pretty good. That's probably where I would put Alex Smith in 2017, right before they made the switch, obviously, to Patrick Mahomes. And I think that's, what I was going to ask you guys, just to turn it around back on you, is if he's not a dink and dunk quarterback, why aren't you guys bombing the ball to Henry Ruggs? And I say this as a Henry Ruggs dynasty owner. Why aren't you guys doing that every week? Because I watch Raiders games, and it's like John Gruden's like, 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards. We go for it on 4th down, 4th and 1, whatever it is. It worked against the Chiefs. And part of the reason it worked is because they clearly were not expecting it. But I just, now that they put that on tape and they have the ability to do it, I just am confused why they don't do it more often.
If you see the box score, it doesn't look like it's translating. If you go back and you see, if you're to watch all the targets to Henry Ruggs, they're there. The chemistry might be a little off. Henry Ruggs is getting used to, I think, keeping both feet on the sideline because he had a couple deep balls to him. One of them in which you go back and watch all 22 might have been challenge worthy. It was like a 40-yarder down the field on the right side. He secured it, brought it in. His right foot was just barely right there on the line, kind of just like his touchdown call was. And that touchdown call would have been, had they ruled it a catch and a touchdown, I don't think it would have been reversed either way. It was right there on the borderline. So I think that's what it comes down to is actually, as well as with Derek, when you miss those balls and you drop them, Derek's very reliant on trust, and he wants to be able to throw to a receiver that's going to catch it majority of the time. He's had, receivers in the past. I think that's what's taken him so long now to get to this point. Last year, I think Derek mentally and with his skills, even being able to kind of move around more in the pocket, extend the play just a little bit more than he has before, was here still the same quarterback. But what Patrick Mahomes has, take away Tyreek Hill, take away Hardman, which he's obviously not going to be there this week, take away your speed guys, right? Rely on just Travis Kelce, rely on a good back, and rely on who knows who your wide receivers are going to be each week. And those deep balls are going to go down. Is he still going to take the shots? I'm sure. Is the production going to be there? No. So for Derek to have a Henry Ruggs and even a freaking Nelson Aguilar, who's been able to get more separation than any of our wide receivers in forever, and that's Nelson Aguilar, may I remind you.
Which is crazy, by the way.
But that's the point, too. Ruggs is the coverage dictator. Ruggs is going down the field, having two guys follow him all the time, and then Nelson Aguilar is running free in the middle of the field, wide open for Derek Carr to hit him. So I think the Ruggs thing, and look, the John Gruden, everybody thinks John Gruden is this. When they say offensive guru, it's an offensive guru. John Gruden wants first downs, he wants ball control, and he wants smart quarterback play. Derek Carr didn't take shots down the field because he had nobody to take shots down the field with after Amari left and after Crabtree left. Ruggs is here now. Aguilar's here now. That's why you're seeing it. The past couple of years, their wide receivers have been such trash. There's no reason for him to go down the field. He's going to throw to Darren Waller for 5 yards. He's going to check down to the backs.
Let me ask you guys this. In the last 3 years, when intended air yards have been tracked a lot closer, there are 46 quarterbacks that qualify for this stat. Where do you think Carr falls in intended air yards per pass attempt out of 46?
Probably
I'm sure he's low. If you're looking at 3 years, I will say the only thing that matters is the offense that's built around you this current year, how they're playing now, the unit that he has, the confidence that he has. Because let's be honest, you can try and pick and pry at certain years and gaps of Derek Carr, but the organization and the personnel as a whole hasn't looked very good on our end. So to be able to
guys are spoiled. Let's lay it on the table. You guys are ridiculously spoiled with Patrick.
The most spoiled football team in sports, no doubt.
He could do anything on the football field. And Cody, you were saying take away this guy. Look, I'm not so sure Mahomes would do it anybody he has out there. The guy's just so. But I mean, look, you're a product. If you're not that Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, you're a product of your weapons. I just don't think the weapons have been there.
Mahomes is mediocre.
I saw your
this is the content that I crave. Yeah, this is just I will say this about Chiefs fans, and I love Chiefs Kingdom to death, but I don't know if it's in our DNA, but I saw that clip, Cody. It circulated and it hit home. I mean, it was such an obvious troll attempt. I just can't believe that people it's too easy. We make it too easy for you.
Raider trolling hates Derek Carr too. So I mean, he said like the Raider fans legit hate this guy. They couldn't win him out of the town for Marcus Mariota.
And the reason that I brought up the intended air yards to me was because when I watched him shred the Chiefs a couple weeks ago for the first time in his career, but definitely he was going over the top constantly. And it made me think like, so has it really been the weapons and scheme around him? Has that really been the reason that he hasn't done this before? Because there are some guys, if he's 42 out of 46, not 41 quarterbacks have better weapons than Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like there are some guys that just Jameis Winston's. I'm not saying intended air yards are your end all be all of being a good quarterback. Jameis Winston's number one. So like, but some guys just just zing it. And he just never really feels like that's part of his game. And to me, I feel like that's something that if he started doing that more, he doesn't have to become Jameis Winston, but if he started throwing the ball more, even if he's going to get some more picks, even if he's going to get some more, he's still going to, I think, make some bigger plays. And that's always been strange to me, that he just doesn't seem to want to take that chance.
I don't think Gruden wants him to be that gunslinger, like trying to fit a ball in, that type of thing. You see it now the past couple games, first the Broncos and the Chargers, like Carr hasn't aired it out. He's been smart with the football and they just run people to death. I mean, that's like Gruden's wet dream. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he wants.
He's a 90s coach for sure.
And we in 2020 as football fans and fantasy football players were like, this sucks. Like, we want to, like, you think if a team runs the ball and does well, you're like, oh my God, this game sucks. But you're like, no, you just killed another team. This is good. But like, it doesn't register in our brains.
We got to talk about the defense now. Listen, exactly. So do you think the fact that your defense can't practice at all until they hopefully play on Sunday, is that really going to be a detriment? Because let's face it,
does it affect it? I'd say it affects it. But they're still going to be sitting through Zoom meetings. They're still going to get the new installs that, whatever they're, trying to implement whenever they play you guys. And as a defensive guy, you just kind of got to know what the other player is going to be doing. It's kind of hard not being able to walk that through. But it shouldn't be that big of a difference. We saw this happen with our offensive line, and with our offensive line, it's kind of a big deal because you're having to work off the guy next to you and not being able to walk through that at all. That really sucks. Like, you're legit a unit. You work as one. So just sitting through Zoom calls and trying to adjust even just to run plays. Josh Jacobs even admitted that, they weren't on the same page as the offensive line whenever they're, setting up for plays. So the defense, not as much. And to be honest, our defense has kind of been a little messy anyways. So, hey, maybe less time with the defensive coordinator might help us. Who knows? Maybe they start trusting their instinct a little bit more. Maybe they get out there and Jonathan Abram and all these guys that, kind of got to sit on the couch and get pissed about not playing football. They're going to be well rested, and maybe they get out there and we see them play just a different style a little bit.
If 2020 has proved anything, you guys could probably attest that if 2020, that practice for veterans especially does not matter. These, like once you get into like week 10 and week 11, like these veterans, like they don't need to practice. Like Ben Roethlisberger, I don't need practice. Like just let me know what the game plan is. Let me go out there. And look, I know I'm being a little tongue in cheek here, but like, once you get into a season, I think these guys would rather rest their bodies than be in a walkthrough or be in a practice. I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things.
Is it worse for the defense? For younger guys. Is it worse for the defense missing Farrell than it is not practicing? I mean, is that a bigger, because
I don't know, but if you guys end up winning, we're probably going to use it as an excuse anyway.
Well, so that's why
fucking COVID, man.
No. We have to put this on the record now. You're saying it's not a big deal. So when we beat you guys by 3 scores, I don't want to hear any excuses. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, all we can make is excuses whenever you lose. That's all you can do.
That's fair. That's fair.
What we're going to use as the scapegoat is the NFL's obviously attack on the Raiders.
Yes,
of course.
By scheduling the Chiefs off a bye versus the Raiders year in and year out.
4 out of the last 5 years, the Chiefs have played the Raiders off their bye.
They say it's computer generated. That's my ass.
Yeah, but let's talk about the times that we had to go to Oakland on a short Thursday night football. The last 2 times we lost to you guys, both in Oakland on short weeks by 1 point and 2 points. Yeah. Come on, that's just make up for the short week division game, West Coast. That was nonsense. I mean,
You give Andy Reid like 13 days to come up with plays. You're gonna be running motions.
Yeah, you can go a couple short weeks.
Yeah.
So to answer your question about the defense, it's not gonna matter because Andy Reid's gonna scheme the freaking hell out of it.
It's gonna be a shootout.
That's what we hope for. That's what it comes down to. All the Derek Carr talk and everything that's going on. That's what got us excited the last time we played and whenever we won, because it's not that we won like a really like
13-7 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it was like not a close game, but like a shootout where we're actually kind of going blow for blow, and felt like in the offseason, that's what we were doing. Whenever we looked at your team and even the Niners, the things that you guys did the most was you had the number 1 and number 2 ball carrier speed and the number 1 and number 2 pre-snap motions. And that was because you had all that speed to be worried about. So for us, adding Henry Ruggs, adding like youth to the defense, getting a lot faster on defense with Corey Littleton, who's been a little underwhelming, but even some other players that are coming in just faster, period. I felt like finally, okay, we're building off that template. It's a copycat league. The 2 teams that are in the Super Bowl, they had speed. So that's what we need. We need speed. And it kind of proved to be true that game. And even our other primetime game against the Saints kind of proved to be true. We got some speed. We can air it out if we need to. We can make the big plays. And Derek Carr can get it down the field to, some semi reliable receivers. These last couple of weeks have been a little shaky for us in drops. I'm not going to lie. Derek went a handful of weeks, no drops, and it was looking good. Everything was clicking. He's putting the ball in the on their hands anywhere. They're making good contested catches. You saw Henry Ruggs. Yeah, you saw Henry Ruggs with his arm linked through your defender making that catch. And then there's a few catches after that down the sideline. We see him missing. And then we see Nelson Aguilar dropping a few balls. We had 3 drop touchdowns last week. So it's one of those things. If we can clean that up, we can get back to where we're going. But we got to get out of the slump, and then I'll feel very good again about our offense playing with you guys.
Well, I have some concern. All right, so here's questions for Chiefs people here. What is up with Sammy Watkins? When is he ever going to play football again?
Yeah, he's going to play this week.
He practiced in full today.
Okay, yeah, so the Lizard King is back.
What's up with Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Is he not the guy everybody thought he was going to be?
He was better than Josh Jacobs week 1.
He's a rookie running back, man. I mean, they don't all go out there and look like Josh Jacobs for their rookie year. And I really like his talent. I really like the things that he adds to the offense. It doesn't necessarily, the Chiefs have never really been, since Jamal Charles left, they haven't leaned on. Kareem Hunt had his games for sure, but they don't really scheme the running back to have big days. And you can have a game like Buffalo where Buffalo just says, you have to run on us to beat us. And Clyde has 150, 60 yards and beats him. So, I mean, he's got the ability. He just isn't in an offense that's going to utilize that every week.
What's interesting to me about
Bell?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, we don't even know. Yeah,
I mean,
great question.
We'll probably see something out of him, I would assume, coming out of the bye. But what I think makes this game cool and fun, and I hope that this continues. We'll see if Carr can maintain his level of play and if the Raiders can continue to build. But I think both of these offenses, can beat you in different ways. And that, I mean, the Raiders clearly want to beat you by running the ball, and the Chiefs want to beat you by throwing the ball. And they really like to throw the ball deep. They like to win with the pass. But as Taylor was pointing out, I mean, they've had games this year against the Texans in the opener, against the Bills, where the game plan was we're going to run, and that's what the defense is going to give us, and we'll do it. And the Raiders against the Chiefs, obviously, their game plan was we think that the Chiefs are going to give us the deep ball, and they took advantage of it. And it makes for a really exciting matchup. I mean, it's just fun. All of the smack talk aside, it's fun to have a division game in prime time coming off a loss for us. While it was not fun, it definitely gives us some juice. It's just fun to see two offenses that can move the ball in different ways. And especially with, the Chiefs coming off a bye, but Gruden, I'm sure, obviously for the first game was very well prepared for the Chiefs. And I'm sure he will be for this game too.
I agree. I mean, I think, look, and it's probably kudos to you guys and to Andy Reid, and all jokes aside, Gruden has mimicked what he wants this Raider team to be after what Andy Reid has done with the Chiefs team, and just the speed and the type of roster that you guys have built. But I agree with your point. Both of these teams can beat you in a bunch of different ways. Like the Raiders the past couple of weeks have run the ball to death and just bludgeon teams and play decent defense, but if they have to, they could air it out. And the same things with the Chiefs. But I think it goes back to the Andy Reid, John Gruden kind of volleying back and forth. Like, hey, Andy, you got that awesome roster over there with Kansas City. I'm going to try to do things my way over here and kind of match you a little bit. So I think they're pretty even. I don't know. I'll get your guys' temperature on this. You guys in Spagnuolo did an unbelievable job last year, on your trip to the Super Bowl. But I just think the offense is the focal point of both teams, obviously, and the defense. You don't know week in, week out what you're kind of going to get. You might get a strong-willed performance, or you might just get a fall in the face. I'm going to give up 40 points, and it's going to be a bloodbath type of deal. I think they're pretty similar in those facets of the game.
I think the Chiefs defense has shown much better since the start of the playoffs last year and through this year than they had at any point in Andy Reid's tenure before that. Certainly under Bob Sutton, but with the exception of the Raiders game. I mean, they've allowed over 20 points 2 times this year. It was the previous game against the Panthers that they barely won, and the Raiders game. And every other game, it's been 20 points or less. And in the NFL these days, 20 points is a pretty good accomplishment for a defense. I mean, that's and they take the ball away. Their turnover differential is second in football right now by 1 behind the Titans. And I mean, between protecting the ball and taking the ball away, that's really where the defense makes their bread and butter. Is they are opportunistic, and they They've just shown that they're. I hate the phrase "bend but don't break" because it seems like it's making an excuse for a team that gives up a lot of yards. But
that's us.
Yeah,
us.
sure. I mean, and that's a lot of teams in the NFL. That's how a lot of people play defense is, all right, between the 20s, it's no big deal. But once you get inside the 20s, sack up. And I do think that the Chiefs defense has shown with points allowed that they do kind of, they understand that if they can hold the other team down, their offense is going to take care of business. They've scored over 23 points, 44 out of the last 45 games they've played. So, I mean, it's definitely the defense does their part, in my opinion, much better than they had at any point before the playoff run last year.
Don't you think it's a testament to Mahomes too, that your defense knows that they could take more chances and do 100%. Things because they know
it's complementary.
Yeah, 15's there, and he could just, all right, we screw up and we give up 30. All right, Patrick's going to be back there. I think it's,
And the other aspect of that is the opposing offenses know they have to put up points. They know that they can't go out there and just play, an average game. And so the pressure is so high on every opposing offense that the Chiefs play that they take some risks that they might not necessarily take. If two of those deep balls by Carr, either the Chiefs read them and they pick them, or they do something that they normally do when he comes to Arrowhead and it doesn't work, then you're looking at that game plan and saying, man, what the hell were the Raiders doing throwing deep? He can never throw deep. Why didn't they do what they normally do best? But because they hit him, then, it's a completely different story. So I do think the Chiefs offense puts a lot of pressure on the other team's offense, and their defense takes advantage of it.
There we go. I want to add real quick, since you're talking about bend, don't break. We are literally the definition of bend, don't break. This last week, Eddie, you probably know it for a fact. Last week before halftime, we're watching Denver drive down the field, getting ready to score, and they're going to take the lead before halftime, get all the way down to the goal line, and we pick it off at the goal line. If that's not bend, don't break, I don't even know what it is. And we've been dealing with that pretty much in every single one of our wins with our defense, except for maybe a couple games. Now, I want to end on one topic soon. I need to go take a shower. I've been sitting with you guys for like 30 minutes. I just feel gross. But what are you guys going to do different this game? That you guys know this team better than anybody. I can sit here and try and say, oh yeah, they're going to throw the ball better. They're going to try and run the ball more. They're going to try and establish the run different, or they're going to not, give it the big play. I can see things like that, but who exactly do you see maybe getting involved more? And do you see any specific scheme changes? Just because, whenever you go down and break down this last game, we had the upper hand in a lot of things. We passed the ball better. We ran the ball better. We had better third and fourth down conversion rates. We had the ball like 11 minutes more. What are you guys going to do to kind of shift that wave the other direction? And like you said, you guys want payback. How do you guys get that payback?
Well, I think one thing that we can look forward to this week is, besides your defense not practicing, is Sammy Watkins is going to be back. He practiced in full today, and he got hurt during that game. That really opens up. I mean, you talk about Tyreek Hill, you talk about Travis Kelce, but really other than those two, the Chiefs' third receiver, whether that be a running back, whether that be somebody like Demarcus Robinson or McCole Hardman, who's also going to be out this game. I mean, Sammy Watkins is the third best receiver on the team. He's better than McCole Hardman. He's better than Demarcus Robinson. He gives us another middle of the field option that we lost in that game. And the Chiefs offense obviously put up points in that game, 32 points, which many weeks would be enough for us to win. It was not that week, but there were some spells in the middle of that game where they couldn't move the ball. And obviously, some miscommunications that led to the only interception Mahomes has thrown this year. I think
Jeff Heath
on 4th and 7.
Jeff Heath, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, I believe I saw today. Congratulations on that. We probably should close this out by dunking on the Broncos. Congrats for surpassing them. They are a joke, and their quarterback is a joke, and the Chargers too. I mean,
he's so corny, dude. Oh my god!
Did you see the Justin Herbert haircut today?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
it's awful. He looks like young Anakin Skywalker. It's terrible.
It's terrible. I think Sammy being back will be a big difference maker for us. And honestly, I don't know what we're going to see out of the defense. We kind of under Spagnuolo, the defense has been really game plan specific, and obviously the game plan that they had the last time is going in the trash because it was trash and it did not work. So what we're going to see this week, I don't know, but I know they're going to have some stuff cooked up coming out of the bye for sure.
Real quick, I don't mean to butt in. I want to get your opinion as well, but you made us admit that the Raiders defense not practicing would not be an excuse and we should be at full strength, but you just said that them not practicing would be giving you the upper hand. So
I don't know.
Are we even? I think we're even.
We'll see how the game goes, and then we'll make up our narratives after that. How about that? That's what
I got all the excuses. I got a whole list ready to go.
That's great. So do we.
I just
to be honest,
fans there. That's why no fans.
No fans, exactly. I just want to point out that the Chiefs missed out on 2 touchdowns due to some very, very questionable. And I know every fan, every time a penalty gets called, they say it's a crap call.
You can't come with that
listen.
I know,
blame
and
the refs.
you guys know exactly where we're coming from on this because it happens to everybody. But the bomb to Tyreek Hill on the first drive of the game that was called back because of a horrible hold call, and then a touchdown pass to Clyde that was called back because of a horrible pass interference call, and that led to 3 total points on those 2.
And that's not counting the egregious pass interference that was not called on
against Tyreek.
That was
yeah. So I mean, look,
you know the one.
I think the Raiders caught a lot of breaks on some deep balls both ways, on some stuff that didn't go the Chiefs' way and some stuff that did go their way. And all things being even, I just see that if you play that game in Arrowhead 10 times, I think the Chiefs win 7 or 8 of them. But you got the one where you kick their ass, and it feels great. And I'm just really interested to see how both teams use that to come into this game. And are the Raiders going to be overconfident? Are the Chiefs going to be too pissed off? You know, how are the emotions going to play there? Because it's going to be a lot of fun for sure.
My question is Patrick Mahomes scared of Jeff Heath?
Ha. Well, you know, he had 2 picks against Locke, right? It was 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
almost 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's on fire. He's going to have to play a good game. They're going to need the back end of the secondary to really be on their toes because, you know, Chiefs can get them deep. And
well, we know this. We all predict like a high-scoring, old-school AFL shootout. Watch the game end up being like 17-13.
Right.
Right. I mean, I know it won't be, but you know,
that'd be disappointing.
Goddamn close games.
Yep.
That's right.
Good stuff, guys. Do you have any last questions? Anything you want to get off your chest before we end this thing?
Go Chiefs.
That's not a question. I mean, it kind of is a question, but
yeah, we'll see. Do either of you guys know Jace Frost personally? Was that? Do you know this whole saga?
No.
We're very interested in Jace Frost.
Oh, that's Derek Carr's burner. Oh, come on. You guys
what are you talking about?
Jace Frost.
He had this burner Twitter account where he was defending himself, and someone pointed it out that it was his burner, and he deleted it. It was just, we had a lot of fun with it, but didn't know if you guys were dialed in.
It could be. I mean, I remember that like it was a long time ago.
This year. I mean,
it was
that's what I meant. Like, but it wasn't like in this. I'm thinking this week. I'm like Jace Frost. I'm like, was I talking to a Jace Frost? Because I feel like there was a Jace in one of my comments today. I couldn't really figure it out either. But
it could be Jace Frost too. There's a new one now, but I think I think that's a troll account. I don't think that's real. But the first one was definitely
for sure. Derek,
for sure.
I mean, it could be. There's a lot of weirdos on Twitter. So I mean, it could just be somebody that
on the internet, guys. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not. We don't want to end on burner accounts on Twitter, right? I mean, I don't know.
Fair enough.
No, listen, Cody. This is what I've been dying to ask you this, to be honest.
Okay.
With you. Okay. Like, what percentage of your persona? Listen, I guess you're a huge fan, and I'm a huge fan as well. The difference is that the Chiefs are Super Bowl champions, and the Raiders are, they're getting better. So, you know, what percentage of this is, what percentage of it is real, and how much of it is an act for your fans, right? Like, you know, I get it, the angle. You're optimistic. Do you really believe all of these things that you say?
Well, I'm definitely not fake. There's no percentage of fakeness here. That's this is the thing with Raider Nation. Raider Nation is diehard. Raider Nation doesn't sit here and, you know, just rely on the product on the field to be how loyal and how much we, you know, rely on a win. We can be 0-10 and then go down in a rain game and beat the Chiefs for our first win, and we're going to feel great about it. We're going to love this team. We're going to have a good time. Either way, no matter what happens or how our team finishes the season, this room's still going to stay up and it's still going to be rocking out some Raiders content. For me, I'm different. There's a lot of analytical fans out there that do these shows. A lot of them. You guys might be one. I don't tune in at all, so I don't really know exactly, you know, your stance and how you guys do things. But I'm just a fan. Like, literally, you're like basic fan. I try not to get into things too deep. I'll talk about it. You know, we'll talk about possibilities. I'll see what I like. We'll joke about what we don't like, everything that's going on. Everything for me is 100% authentic, and that's the only reason I enjoy doing this thing so much is because I can get on here and just spitball and not care and enjoy. The only thing I will say is the troll jobs. Like, I enjoy, honestly, I enjoy pissing you guys off. I really do.
Likewise.
It's a get off for me. And I mean, I wish I could say you guys pissed me off as much as I pissed you guys off, but we'll talk about the teeter-totter later in the day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Sunday, I guess.
We will, man. Absolutely.
What makes for a good rivalry.
It's one of those things I couldn't even tell you how many Chiefs fans have already been in my DMs, like with threatening of sending me my own tweet saying, I can't wait to bring this out on Sunday. I can't wait to bring this out on Sunday. I'm like, hey, cool. Because the difference is whenever we lose, or if we win, I'll target all of the Chiefs fan base. And it's funny because I feel like if you guys win, I'm the one that gets targeted. I'm like, okay, hold on a second. We have a lot more fans here that we need to reach out. There's a lot more hot takes out there. I put myself out there quite a bit, so it's okay.
You put yourself out there. That's
you
what
make yourself an easy target for sure. I think everybody likes to
we sacrifice Cody for the greater good. That's what we
exactly.
Right.
Human sacrifice for Raider Nation, and that's okay. We enjoy it. At the end of the day, this is how I see it for me personally. When I get off Twitter, when I get off this podcast, when nobody on any other fan base can see me, I go home to my beautiful wife, my 2 kids. I have a good life. I could care less, and I enjoy it. So it's one of those things, man. This is fun as a little hobby. Get on here and chit chat. And obviously you guys are probably expecting a lot different conversation as this is going by our Twitter personas. And
I'd say it went pretty good. I expected it to go.
Really? Yeah, I expected it to be a little bit more heated, but it went pretty smooth.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll see. The
fan bases hate each other, but you sit down, you talk football. It's not so bad. But obviously, we're going to be very, very dialed in on Sunday, and whoever of our sides win that, of course, it'll be us.
Absolutely,
we'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
My Twitter fingers are exercised and ready to go. So they will be flying. I will be all up in your mentions. Probably not your DMs. That's a little bit weird, guys. Don't jump into people's DMs, right? Like, put it out in the open. I've gotten some DMs today already. So yeah, it's just that's
good stuff. Good stuff. So put the rivalry aside. It's bigger than football with everything going on COVID wise. States are shutting back down. Hopefully, you guys and your families stay safe, stay healthy, and we enjoy a good, healthy, fun, old school rivalry on Sunday. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Anyone that's listening on my channel, give your guys show a shout out so that Raider Nation can heckle you and your Twitter pages.
Podcast is It's Always Sunny in Chiefs Kingdom. You can get that at it'salwayssunnyincchiefskingdom.com or iasick.com. We do it for Sports Illustrated, but we also do it for ourselves, and just loving life. Go Chiefs.
That's right. We don't have a YouTube channel yet, but this is going to give us a little bump. We were
episode 1.
To come on.
This is episode 1.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. Episode 1 of the YouTube channel. We'll pop that up there.
YouTube's fun. You'll enjoy it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Cody.
Yeah. Let's do it again. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that's going to do it. Raider Nation, Chiefs Kingdom, little collaboration. Real quick before you go, I got one last message for any of you folks out there that are into betting. I want you guys to make sure it's winning season right now for Raider Nation. And it's also winning season at MyBookie. So I want you guys to get in on this action because the Raiders, they've made a lot of upsets this year. And playing a team right now like the Chiefs, I think we've only been favored maybe in one game, maybe 2 games this entire year. Well, guess what? We're 6-3, feeling good. We're going home, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and there's a lot of emotions flowing. So I want you to get in there, and I want you to visit MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Use promo code Raider Cody. You get to MyBookie and use promo code Raider Cody, and they're going to double your first deposit. So you get there, use that promo code, get in on this action because this isn't no joke. This is time, Raider Nation. We're winning. The team's winning. It's time for you to get in on that. So go there, get your money, and do your thing, Raider Nation. Enjoy this weekend. Like I said, Stage Door Casino. Make sure you like and subscribe this channel. Go to my watch party stream that I've set up. We're also going to do a post-game show, so stick around post-game as well. But that's it, Raider Nation. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Whew, this is it. You're probably going to see one more video from me at the end of the week, but for now, this is it. See you soon. Later.